Rappers are notoriously tough to interview, come off too much like the police, and there's every chance they'll shut down and refuse to participate in the interview. On the other hand, if a rapper says or does the wrong thing during an interview, i.e. Drake infamously freestyling off his BlackBerry in 2009, there's every chance that this will be etched into their legacy forever.
Is a freestyle off your BlackBerry a freestyle, or you know what I mean? Is writing down your raps a freestyle? Y'all let me know, because I can put out some freestyles if y'all give me some time.
We're taking a closer look at some of the most awkward interviews in hip-hop history. Often when new rappers emerge,
y'all finish it, y'all done.
Try to poke holes in the image they've constructed around themselves. But often, the artists are too savvy, and all the journalists who've tried to defame them end up doing is making them appear even more appealing to their fan base. That was the case when BBC attempted to tangle with a young Tyler the Creator in Odd Future. Flanked by the group's colorful cast of characters which included Damo, Left Brain, Haji Beats, and Sid the Kid, the reporter made a mistake of underestimating the crew and clearly went into the interview with a preconceived idea of how he wanted to portray them. The result is a combative masterclass, with Tyler going out of his way to make things as difficult as possible.
Okay, now what about your lyrics? What are you saying in your lyrics?
Nothing. To old white people off like you.
Is that right?
My lyrics aren't offensive.
Some people find them offensive.
Some people find everything offensive.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
But when it
that's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite things he's ever said. Okay. If I could get that in a soundbite, somebody put that out there.
Comes to awkward interviews, no one has turned this into an art form quite like Nardwuar.
I like Nardwuar.
A bona fide legend who's received his flowers from virtually every rapper. Getting the interview with Nardwuar is seen as an honor for most upcoming rappers who've spent years witnessing him bamboozle his guests with obscure knowledge about their lives. But over the years, this hasn't always gone to plan. In rock music, the likes of Blur, Henry Rollins, and Slipknot all found themselves confused by Nardwuar's shtick, to the point of getting angry. And in hip-hop, the likes of Lil Uzi Vert decided to run away from him, while Jay-Z just seemed utterly confused. But if any interview between Nardwuar and an MC who refused to play ball was painful to witness, it was Nas. Back in the day, Nas agreed to sit down with Nardwuar during a Canadian tour stop. Initially, things started off amicably enough, with Nas seemingly impressed by the degree of research Nardwuar had undertaken.
This dude here, see where he's at? This is the project where I come from. That's the elevator doors open. See, that's the first floor. And he's telling the crackhead, Jane, stop this crazy thing. Sweet crazy, you're crazy.
While he originally seemed amused by the endless selection of records and pop culture trinkets that Nardwuar decided to bestow upon him, Nas's patience would eventually wear thin, and by the end, that normally composed MC was as hostile as we've ever seen him.
You are nuts, you are psycho, but it's all love, it's all music. Peace.
Thanks so much, Nas. Keep on rocking in the free world and do-do-do-do-do.
Yo, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
While Nas managed to keep
that
things
wasn't
cordial
that bad,
with
bro.
Nardwuar for a little while, the same couldn't be said for Kodak Black's appearance on Ebro in the Morning. A man who will make several appearances.
Look, shout out to Ebro. He stood 10 toes down in this interview, which is crazy because, like, if you watch a lot of interviews, like, this is a 13 minutes of awkward interviews. But if you people will brush aside, like a controversial topic to do an interview with a good artist. So, you know, I applaud this, man. He really stood 10 toes down on what he believed in. And Kodak wasn't going for it, but he was like, he can leave if he wants to, you know?
On this list, Ebro's demeanor has a way of getting under people's skin in a way that he doesn't seem to be aware of. But when Yak turned up to the Hot 97 studios, Ebro was determined to broach Kodak Black's pending case with him.
And with respect to, you know, everybody involved in that case, we can't get into details today. But, you know, we take assault here serious. But we hope, you know, to have you back so we can have a deeper conversation about that because, you know, this is a serious topic, and we're hearing these stories a lot.
After some haphazard attempts from Peter Rosenberg to guide the conversation back to neutral ground with a bizarre comment about the moon landing, it wasn't long before Kodak's annoyance boiled over.
You seem upset that I brought it up.
I feel like sometimes when like we going through, like, y'all be entertained by bull. Change the subject, I'm finna walk out.
We don't have to talk about nothing else. We could be done right here.
We could be done right here.
Say less.
After the fact.
And I think it's important to, like, this one was important because, like, think about the music industry as a whole, with the Diddy stuff that's coming out, with Kodak Black sexual assaults. Like, it's a lot of you can go Trey Songz, you can go Chris Brown beating on people, and I'm sorry if it offends anybody that you bring these up, but things like this happen in the music and they just brush under the rug and we just, oh, they're famous. So I respected this. I respect.
Ebro received a mixture of praise and backlash from the culture. and in a subsequent
Ain't
radio
no backlash
appearance,
for
he
me.
made it clear that this wasn't his intention. I did not want it to go that way. I'm not happy with the way that it went. I'm not happy it went that way. I feel bad that it went that way because I felt like I was honestly trying to have a balanced conversation with an individual who has a crazy past, dealing with some very real things. It's very strange right now, Ebro said. It makes nobody happy. I really, really wanted to end that in a good way. Where this incident stemmed from Kodak not wanting to delve into his personal life, this next awkward encounter involving Ebro was one in which the generational gap between him and the current crop of hip-hop artists was all too apparent. During Lil Uzi Vert's meteoric rise to fame, he stopped in at Hot 97, and almost instantly, he was met with a dismissive attitude from Ebro. From the outset, he seemed intent on painting Uzi as just another mumble rapper, and as we know, he was anything but. And because of his supreme confidence, Uzi made what could have been a painful experience into one where he made predictions that, in hindsight, simply exposed Ebro's lack of understanding of what Uzi was trying to accomplish.
Everybody's grown, bro.
I mean, are they? Everybody's grown. He fell off at the end.
Put another beat on.
Nah, because all I got is old man beats and you're not built for
Hey,
that.
listen, it's going to be a lot of young guys coming up here and they ain't going to want to rap on that. I'm trying to tell you, it's changing.
Yo, look, I hope they change. But as I've seen with all you little young motherfuckers that they
wow.
Y'all get to like 27, 28, and y'all get to struggling and y'all be trying to come back to find that sound.
I ain't going to struggle, bro.
And guess what? I'm going to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be totally different, too. I'm going to be all the way a rock star by then.
History's proven Uzi to be right.
He was
with his
right.
decision to stay the course, paying dividends for years to come. But while his appearance on Hot 97,
I don't understand that interview because why bring me on your show? And Uzi, if you heard his music has always been kind of different from, let's say, old hip hop head rap. Why do you bring me on your show and play music like this? Like, I don't even get sometimes rappers. Why y'all go on them interviews and start freestyling for them? I like the Vince Staples take. I got songs out there. Just listen to my songs, bro. I wrote them.
Emboldened him. There are other cases in which a chaotic interview can set the course for a massive change in an artist's life. Here we have Boonk Gang's disastrous appearance on No Jumper. An incident which Adam 22 has categorized as the worst interview in No Jumper history. Boonk appeared notably intoxicated from the start. And although there is an argument to be made that Adam should have never put him in front of the camera in the first place, he did appear to try to water over here, bro, as soon as he could, particularly as Boonk began to repeat himself.
Boonk is right now. I've been up for the past 3 weeks.
Because I would like to do an interview when you're sober.
Nah, you don't want to do an interview when I'm sober. I mean, I had the hiccups from it like this.
The hiccups are not the biggest problem, but
yeah.
Okay. Boonk Gang, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Since then, Boonk, now named John Gambino, has turned his life around. But while Boonk Gang all but left music without leaving a mark on the industry, two men that have are Childish Gambino and Chief Keef. Both exploding into the scene in the early 2010s, ATL's Donald Glover has become a pioneer in nearly every avenue, while Glow Gang's Chief Keef was instrumental to the foundation of drill as we know it. But as it became clear when Noisy aligned the two for a one-on-one interview, it became obvious that despite their significant contributions to the game, they lacked natural chemistry when brought together. Over the course of a painful 4 minutes, the pair couldn't find sufficient common ground, nor enough mutual admiration to make it work, with Keef clearly irritated by the conversation, making it known that he would rather not have to endure it, while Donald struggled to find something to say.
You don't like talking that much. You say you're not a big talker. I feel that. You're 17. You're about to turn 18.
Yeah.
I didn't really like to talk that much when I was 18. I just kind of like drew a lot of stuff. Do you draw? Well, you got a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, you ain't got no tat?
I might get one that just says what I'm allergic to or something like that. I heard you like belts a lot.
Somehow, things got even more excruciating when the conversation turned to music, with Donald misquoting Chief Keef's breakout hit in possibly the worst way conceivable.
That spoke to people. That line like a fart, that's that I don't like.
Who said that?
Yeah, is that not on there?
Hell no.
What's the first part? What's the last one?
That's it. Sneak disses.
I don't like fart.
Right.
Where interactions like Keef and Gambino's painfully stunted conversations
I want to see that whole
the
thing.
mutual misunderstanding rather than animosity, there are other cases where personal grievances spill over into the airwaves.
Oh,
this
yeah.
was definitely the case when it came to Joe Budden.
Joe Budden in beef right now. Joe Budden always in beef. Hey, shout out to Joe Budden, man.
Misappearance on Hot 97. Set to appear on the show to promote Rage and the Machine, both Joe's beef with Drake and his high-profile issues with his former podcast co-host Marissa Mendez were brought up on air. Left angered by Hot 97 hijacking the interview to discuss anything but his album, Joe let his issues with Ebro and Peter Rosenberg be known in the most Joe way possible.
I don't think that you guys are able to have an objective conversation, number one. Number two, this podcast conversation is not a conversation I care to have, especially not early in the morning. Number three, if Peter and or Marissa feel a way, then There are other mediums for that to be discussed if it's going to be discussed at all. Next time I come here for an interview, send my manager the talk points. I didn't know that this would be an utter complete waste of time. We talked about Drake for 10 minutes, then we talked about the album for 30 seconds.
We played your song.
And then we talked about Marissa and Peter.
You want to talk about beats? You want to talk about snares and hi-hats?
I want you to talk about something compelling.
You want me to pull A-Rab up and talk about the MPC Renaissance? Yo, the bar you spit, this pattern you used, the percussion, the way you used your voice like a drum and the percussion and fell in the pocket at the end, so it was hard.
I want to thank all of you for your time.
What should we have covered?
I don't know. That's y'all job to talk about. I don't do a morning show. I do a podcast.
We'll talk more album time.
No, we won't.
Dang.
No, we won't.
Joe was on the receiving end of a grilling that he neither signed up for nor wanted, but that doesn't mean that he necessarily had any empathy for others when he placed them in a similar situation. Here we have Joey Jump-Off's infamous Everyday Struggle showdown with Lil Yachty, appearing on the headline.
Look, I wasn't really hip on Joe Budden, like saying to the Migos joint. So this is enlightening. He always been like, abrasive to people, or like just, I don't know, be rubbing people the wrong way, I guess.
Flex show was always a calculated gamble, and appearances from Vic Mensa and a near physical altercation with Migos certainly made for compelling viewing. But they all pale in comparison to what happened when the rapper that was then Quality Control's newest star appeared. Over the course of the interview, Budden seemed incredibly frustrated by what he saw as Yachty's naivety and ignorance.
I don't care about the business part. I care about how Yachty feels.
You're giving me every day because life is moving in such a positive way. I can't get slowed down.
Nobody is one thing forever. You cannot tell me in the music business you are happy 24/7. That is a lie. That is bull. And I refuse to have somebody tell me bull. I want to have an honest conversation.
So when you come from a college dorm room with no money and you ain't getting no play with no girls, you have no car, and you come to having 3-4 cars, you got millions of dollars, $500,000 on your body just to wear, how could you be upset?
Because I don't think that's where your values lie. That's why. Is that sounding old guy mad still?
It sounds like you know you up me trying to bring it back.
I ain't no
what you said, let me
If this wasn't bad enough, things continue to
Yachty eating them up, low
that Joe was basically playing the role of a scolding parent while Yachty took it in stride.
Tell me what you want from hip-hop. You don't think that's a question you should answer at some point? Or are you leaving all of this to QC to figure out?
Nah, I mean, I'm making music, bro. I'm just having fun. My fans love it.
Yeah, you don't sound like you very aware with what's going on, and you one of the hottest on earth.
But what do you want me to say?
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm rooms eating oodles and noodles. I want you who's well-spoken and articulates himself well.
Chill.
Yeah. A storm which refused to subside, Budden's harsh words resulted in a diss on QC's Ice Tray from Yachty and Quavo. Since then, the two have squashed the beef. In a similar vein, our next entry is another instance where a rapper
shout out Kanye West, because Sway was doing this, and he apologized.
Media personality had an incendiary debate. Back in 2013, Kanye was an explosive form when it came to generating carnage wherever he went. A time where the man who'd become Ye was gradually becoming more and more outspoken, things came to a head when he appeared on Sway in the Morning to promote his forthcoming album, Yeezus.
Who's gonna be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you want to marginalize me till I'm out of my moment?
Or why don't you empower yourself? Take a few steps back.
You ain't got the answer, Sway. Yeah. I've been doing this more than you.
Relax.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't been doing
the
the education. You ain't spent $13 million of your own money trying to empower yourself.
Yes, but I spent hundreds of thousands and putting out clothing lines at a smaller degree.
It ain't Ralph level. What's the name of your clothing line? We don't know.
Why is it that you can't?
I just told you I lost the money because I did not have the knowledge of how to do it the right way.
You ain't got to turn up, man. This ain't no show, man. I'm talking to you as a homie. You ain't got to turn up on me man to man, dog. These mics, we could turn all this off. You ain't got to do this. Don't try to embarrass us.
An incident which promptly reached the status of iconic meme. Kanye and Sway put the fiery exchange behind them until years later, when his high-profile rift with Adidas led Ye to consider that perhaps Sway was actually right about remaining independent.
I told y'all.
On the subject of time, and more specifically timekeeping, we have our final entry. For this one, we need to head over to Norway for a legendary interview with Snoop Dogg. After arriving at an interview in a sneaker
Hey, I'm
store
gonna tell y'all straight up, I don't know this one, so I was pretty hip on the rest of them.
for a long time after he was scheduled to, a reporter innocently tried to press the Dogfather on his punctuality. Almost instantly, Snoop made it known that this was a very bad idea.
You're 5 hours late here, and
Man, shut the up.
yeah, I was just wondering why you were so late, and I saw you were twittering about you being stopped at the border.
I was late because I went to go get some chicken wings. That's what.
Shout out Snoop Dogg. But let me know what y'all thought, man. I knew most of these interviews. I like watching like people get interviewed. I love hearing about their music and why they made it. So that's usually why I tune in to these interviews. And then for them to go so far left really makes it entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. But let me know what y'all thought. So let's talk in the comments. Let's vibe. Like, give me some ideas of what y'all want to see. And yeah, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs. And with all that being said, I am RB Love. Until next time.